Reactor, roll off.
Hi, this is Jada Griffin with Reactor. We're here with Naomi Savoie. She is the concept artist for Far Cry Primal. I can speak, I promise. So Naomi, can you kind of just give us a rundown for the viewers? What is Far Cry Primal?
So with Far Cry Primal, we take the player back all the way to the Stone Age. It's a time where man was still struggling very much to survive every day and wasn't on top of the food chain. And you play as Dakar. You're the last surviving member of your hunting group, and you'll have to learn to craft a deadly arsenal of weapons. You'll have to fend off fierce predators, outsmart enemy tribes, conquer the land of wars, and ultimately become the apex predator.
Nice. So I found we had a lot of run-ins with a lot of the different beasts, everything from tapirs up to mammoths and saber-tooths. I got killed by a bunch of rhinos. What was the idea to go backwards? Because with all the games trends going forward, Call of Duty, Halo, they're going forward and futuristic. What was the idea? What brought you guys to want to go backwards in time?
Well, with the setting of the Stone Age, we were actually really excited to go back there because it's kind of the first frontier of man. It's when people started to settle down and really fight each other for territory, and it was just a lot more savage and brutal. So it was actually a very exciting setting for us, and we actually started doing some research into it and actually talking to specialists and did anthropologic research and had consultants come in. And the more we were doing research on this, we were really getting excited because we saw that there was a lot of opportunity for this franchise to go there.
Yeah, it's not something we see very often. I'm ecstatic. I love what we got to play. We got to play for a couple hours today. One thing that really intrigued me was the language. Is that like an authentic language? Did we take one language and kind of tweak it? What did we do?
It's actually a real language. That was part of our research. We had experts, Andrew and Brenna Bird, who are linguists, come in and help us with that. It's Proto IndoEuropeanan. It's short for Pi. In short, Pi.
Yeah.
And so they really helped us develop that language in the game. We still adapted it because it has a lot of complicated sounds. So for even the actors and the players to understand it, it's a much more simple version of it. And we also made it 3 different variations for each of the tribes. So they all have their own cadence and dialect for their unique sort of identities.
Very cool. Yeah, it was really interesting. Right off the bat, we were both just enthralled with this new language we've never heard. We're like, is this real? Is it, what is this? So that's awesome that you guys are sticking to realistic, things. You guys did your research, but Ubisoft always does research with the Assassin's Creed series and everything like that, so I'm not surprised. What is your favorite part about Far Cry Primal? Because obviously, you've done the art and everything. I see a lot of there's great design, the characters and everything. What is your favorite part of Far Cry Primal?
I think I'm a little biased, being a character concept artist. I really like the characters in Far Cry Primal. I really like, as much as your allies and your enemies, I really like the Shaman Tensei. He's the one who helps you unlock the Beastmaster skills in order to be able to tame the animals. And you get to do really sort of mystical missions of visions with him because he sort of chews mind-altering plants and he's kind of out there. He's sort of the spiritual leader of your group. And also the villains, like Ul, the leader of the Udam, who's like this really big, brute, intimidating guy who's really worried for his people, and Batari, the sort of arrogant queen of the Zila. So for me, the characters were really kind of the highlight of working on Far Cry Primal.
Now, did you guys pull inspiration for the characters as well from the when you guys did your research into the language and everything?
Yeah, actually, the Udam, for example, are inspired from the Neanderthals. So they're a bit more primitive than the rest of the tribes. They're also suffering a lot. In our game, their backstory is that they were stuck in the caverns for a really long time during the Ice Age. So they had to resort to cannibalism, and they sort of did a lot of inbreeding, so their children are dying a lot and they're very sick. So they're kind of a dying race, so they're very aggressive because they're sort of in this corner there, they don't really know what to do. And they get to Oros and it's this lush land full of opportunities, so they're like, we want this. But then the Wenja are like, we want this, and the Izil are like, yeah, but we want this too. So that kind of brings conflict into the game.
It definitely moves the story forward. There's lots of conflict. There's constant action. It felt slower for Far Cry, or it was slower definitely, but it didn't feel slower. There's so much going on in the world. It's so alive that I was just enthralled the whole time. I was just wanted to go everywhere, chase every animal that I could find, try to tame it. definitely one of my favorite parts is the taming of the animals. I just love being able to mount a bear and just haul off after everything. Teach us about the Beastmaster role.
Yeah, so that was one of the things that when we look back at the Stone Age, we have different weapons like spears and clubs and all that, but really what gave man its edge in order to climb on top of the food chain was the sort of synergy with the animals. Like, the dogs we have today were back then wolves, so it's that ability to work together. So we kind of really wanted to bring that to the game, and thus the Beastmaster feature. So it's kind of your more powerful weapon. You're able to tame all the predators in the game. You're able to use, felines for stealth also. They all have their different thing that they can do. Bears you can use as tanks. They all have, different varieties in terms of strategy if you want to take an outpost differently and kind of match the player's playstyle. So yeah, that was a feature that we're really happy to do.
Any playstyles that are the game's more focused or oriented around, or is it kind of play how you want to play?
It's play how you want to play. It's very open, so depending on what kind of approach you take. There's even you can, in options in your menu, you can actually turn off all of the HUD, like the UI.
Oh, really?
So you can really go hardcore primal without any of the icons on your screen and go raw if you want the full experience to be intense.
That definitely would be a lot more intense, not being able to see how many arrows you have or health.
Or even just the crosshair. I when I was playing the game in development, that's something I kind of didn't realize, and I actually played a lot of the game like that. I was like, this is hardcore! But I didn't, realize I could do stuff that would help me play a little bit better, because I did pretty horribly.
So how involved are you in the development process besides the concept art?
Well, we really rely on communication. It's really important not to stay too focused on what you do specifically. Even though I did concept art, I talked a lot with the modelers because they're kind of, the next step after concepts. When you do like an illustration, for example, of the saber tooth, like front and side, that's going to go to someone who's going to, model him. So it's good to be in communication to know what the challenges and risks of doing that concept is. And even farther than that, the whole team, sort of talk to know what's going on a bit everywhere, so everything's very coherent and we go through a smooth development process.
Nice. So to the viewers, the fans, the game players out there, what's the one thing you want to tell them about Far Cry Primal? Like, why should they go out and buy Far Cry Primal?
You should go buy it because you can become the apex predator, and better than that, you can set like your bear on fire and you can send it in an outpost and put everything on fire and sort of watch the world burn as you conquer it, and I think that's really, really, really fun. It might be a little intense, but...
No, that's exactly my method I was playing, was burn all the things.
Yeah, burning stuff is fun in Far Cry.
Fun.
Yeah.
Burn all the things. So, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Naomi. We had a blast today. We appreciate the first look, and thank you for taking your time to answer his questions for us.
Well, thanks for the interview. It was a lot of fun.
I'm glad. This is Jada Griffin with Nerd Reactor. Roll out.